Have you ever wondered why, despite working hard, you still feel stuck and unappreciated? You're not alone. In today's society, we often focus on individual achievements and material success. But sometimes we overlook the profound impact of giving and the transformative power it holds. Let me share with you a story that illustrates this concept beautifully. There was a man who made a living by begging. Day after day, he would sit by the roadside, holding out his hand, hoping for some coins or food from passers-by. Life had dealt him a tough hand, and he felt trapped in a cycle of need and reliance on the kindness of others. One day, a well-dressed man approached him. Instead of reaching into his pocket to give some money, the well-dressed man stopped and looked at the beggar. After a pause, he asked, "Do you only take from others? Have you ever given anything to anyone?" The beggar was taken aback by the question. He had never thought of himself as having anything to give. His entire world revolved around his own needs and his perception of himself as someone who was always lacking. "I don't have anything to give," he replied, feeling a sense of shame. The well-dressed man continued, "If you believe you have nothing to give, then you also have no right to ask for anything." With that, he turned and walked away. At first, the beggar didn't understand what the man meant. He had always assumed that he deserved help because he needed it. But the man's words echoed in his mind, challenging his beliefs and his sense of entitlement. As the days went by, the beggar couldn't shake off the encounter. He began to realize that he wasn't just a helpless beggar. He had skills, experiences, and perhaps most importantly, his dignity. These were things he could offer to the world. The beggar decided to take action. He started small. He picked up some wildflowers from a nearby field and arranged them neatly beside him on a piece of cloth. The next time someone walked by, instead of holding out his hand, he offered them a flower. At first, people were surprised by this unusual gesture. Some hesitated, wondering what the catch was. But the beggar simply smiled and said, "Here you go. Enjoy." To his surprise, people responded with kindness. They not only accepted the flowers, but many also gave him food, small bills, or coins in return. The beggar continued this practice, and as he interacted with people, he noticed their reactions. Some wanted specific types of flowers, while others preferred different colors. He paid attention to these details, adapting and improving his offerings. Soon, people from all around came to know about the beggar who offered flowers in exchange for support. One day, the well-dressed man from before walked by again. He noticed the transformation. The beggar was no longer just a man sitting by the roadside. He had become a small business owner, a provider of happiness. The man approached and said, "You are no longer just a beggar. You have become a businessman." The beggar, who had once seen himself as merely a taker, realized that he was now a giver, offering beauty and joy to those around him. Through this simple act of giving, he had transcended his circumstances and found a way to contribute to the world. Friends, this story teaches us that true fulfillment comes not from what we take, but from what we give. It reminds us that each of us has something valuable to offer, even if it may not seem like it at times. All it takes is a shift in perspective, a willingness to try something new, and a belief in our own ability to make a difference. So I ask you, what are you willing to give today? How can you bring beauty and happiness into the lives of others? Remember, the beggar turned businessman didn't just change his circumstances, he changed his identity. He discovered that he was not just a taker, but a giver too. And in doing so, he found a deeper sense of purpose and fulfillment. If you found inspiration in this story, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. Together, let us spread the message that true fulfillment comes from giving and that each one of us has the power to make a positive impact on the world.